If you don't know anything about real estate and you're learning about real estate right now, you want to know processes and procedures. This is probably, it's not, there's sexy topics, right? Like acquisitions, and there's sexy topics out there like renovations and what to do in the renovations and what's hot in the market right now. This is the one that actually makes you some money when you learn how to get these processes and procedures correct. So who can you introduce our next guest, our first guest here for everybody?
Absolutely. So this is going to be Kristina Aguilera, and I've known Kristina from, if not her beginning, from very close to her beginning, and she's been a successful real estate investor for the past 9 years, and she has a background in insurance management and sales. Her company is called SOP Factory. And it's a passion project for her. I'm not going to share everything about her company because she can do that better than anybody else. But Kristina is the real deal. She is a pure heart, and she wants to see people succeed, and she gets her joy from that as well. So that is who you're going to be talking to next, Nathan.
Hi, Kristina. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
Thanks for joining us today.
I'm super excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
I am honored and excited, and our entire audience is excited. The hundreds and thousands of people that we have been sharing content with have been asking me because we have a property management company.
Okay.
And so they often ask me questions about property management and policy and procedures and things that we do and tools and resources that we do. Share a little bit with everybody about your expertise and what makes you so unique in the real estate market in St. Louis.
Yeah, awesome. So, first of all, I do want to say I thought it was really cool. You're like, this isn't the sexy part, but this is the part that makes you money. So I appreciate it. I think a lot of times people focus so much on the sales process, but they really fail to realize like the way the whole thing comes together. So I'll just give a little background really quick. So I've actually been investing for the last 9 years, and I started as a wholesaler. I went through one of the high ticket. I spent $90,000 on credit cards to learn wholesaling. And as you could tell, obviously, when you spend $90,000, you don't really have a lot of leftover money to do anything else, like actually buy real estate. So it was definitely a grind and a hustle for a long time. But the reason I got into processes and procedures was really because I was wholesaling, and then I was actually able to raise a ton of private money. So money wasn't the issue, it was scalability that was my issue. And because of that, I really realized like what the power of like delegating and building a team and putting in like actual like explaining to people how I was processing and making decisions so that people could also make the decisions the same way consistently over and over again. And that's what allowed me to scale. So I bought 300 single family houses here in St. Louis that I actually self-managed for a long time until literally this month.
Wow.
So I know property management, the ins, the outs, the grit, the bad, the good, very, very well. So, I mean, I think really what it comes down to is understanding the flow. And if you don't know what it is, really leaning on experts that understand the process that goes into property management specifically, right? Especially in property management, you have marketing and sales and transaction coordinating that happens before you ever close the deal, but you're setting everything up for usually a unit turn or a handoff into management. And so a lot of times what I try to tell everybody is try to do one thing one time that allows you to do it like that trickles down the process so you don't have to continue to go back and find things. So just really organizing everything and giving, even if it's yourself, even if you're a one-man show, organization and putting your things together for scalability is even more important than when you have a team, because talent can kind of, make it seem like you have your stuff together if you have good talent. But if that talent walks out the door, you have a bigger problem.
Yeah, it's so important to have systems in place. Rich, based upon what you know about Kristina, what are some things that the audience should begin to understand? And you can definitely ask her in the form of the question. She can explain it herself.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. So I'm going to say this real quick, Kristina, is that, and I'm not going to embarrass you. No, Kristina is purely honest. I mean, she will tell you what it is. I mean, if you have issues, she will tell you the issues, and she does it from a loving place. She's not trying to beat you up or anything. She's genuinely trying to help you become better if you reach out to Kristina for help. But Kristina, what would you say to that question?
As far as, can you ask the question again, just so I can make sure I answer it properly?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nathan. You ask it.
Yeah. So what is one of the most important things that people need to know about you that sets you apart from everybody else that's going to be there on November 4th and 5th?
Honestly, I think just like the background, my background isn't like super niche in anything. So I still operate businesses. Like I still have a wholesaling company. I still have the property management. I just don't manage 300. I only kept 40 in management. Um, and then the rest we handed off to a property manager. So just honestly, like the wide variety of my background, what I've done in depth, not so much like surface level. Like I'm not telling you something because I heard somebody does it. I'm telling you because I've done it and I know what it looks like today. I know what's necessary from scalability. So I'm a fractional COO for a lot of different real estate investors across the country. So I have a pulse on flipping company, on construction company, new builds, just really like that overall knowledge that in different industries and different places that, and also the in-depth knowledge of like systems, Podio, CRMs, how all of it kind of works together. I think that's really what I bring to the table, and probably the passion project aspect of it. So like my heart, I lead with my heart. I want people to win. And so sometimes it's just one little tweak in what they're doing. And sometimes it's more than that, right?
Yeah, for sure. So let's pick one tip, one thing that if you are a real estate investor here locally in St. Louis that you could put in place, or one tool that you could put in place that would make all of the difference in their business and give them immediate value right now. What's one thing that they could do?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is probably deal analyzing, right? It's what made me really successful, was having like an easy equation based, emotionless way to analyze deals, right? So using a calculator, using a spreadsheet that really does remove that, and having a true buy box. I will say one of the things that I did really, really well early that paid off years later was a lot of market research, right? Like going to these events and figuring out why people, what people purchase at, as far as like a return on investment, right? How are they analyzing deals? How are they making offers? So that regardless if you're a wholesaler or you want to invest and buy rentals, like what the norm is, right? So whenever you see a really, really good deal, you're going to be able to jump on it because it's better than what everybody else is buying it for. And I think that really that insider knowledge of how to analyze deals and making those decisions quickly is probably the biggest thing that you can really elevate in your business, regardless if you're a wholesaler, a flipper, a developer. Like it doesn't really matter how quickly you analyze deals, and consistently doing it the same way over and over again is probably the biggest advantage.
Sure, sure. When you got started, did you attend any like local meetup groups in St. Louis? Did you go around any of the clubs and groups, and
Yes.
did you get any real value from that?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, like, so I'm not from St. Louis. So I moved to St. Louis, and then I didn't know anybody. So I actually got a job at a title company, and my job was to network. So I was literally at every RIA event. I was everywhere. Chamber of Commerce events. And honestly, I feel like that was such a competitive advantage. I met some of the most amazing people who had been doing the business 20, 30 years. And Rich said it perfectly. He said, all you need is one thing. And any event that I go to, whether it's local, national, like I'm just looking for my one thing that's going to get me another $1 million. I'm looking for my one thing that's going to get me an extra $100,000. Like that's all I'm looking for whenever you go into any event. And so yeah, it's all about the conversations. It is from the speakers. Obviously you're going to get a bunch of value, but like getting out of your comfort zone and asking the questions to speakers and to other attendees was very valuable.
Sure, wonderful. So let me ask one more question here, and then I'll let Rich ask the final question. But I'm being so selfish because I like to know, I like to learn, and I hope the entire audience loves to learn this much. I mean, you have all these experts that are on the show today. Might as well ask the questions, right?
Exactly.
So what have been
Get your
three?
free time in.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. What have been three of your most fulfilling accomplishments in real estate that you have had?
Um, this is a good one. Honestly, so there's okay, I'll give you one that's like from purchasing property from someone, right? So the first one I'll say is it was like an older lady and she was transitioning out of St. Louis and she had been trying to sell her house for a really, really long time. So obviously, as you can tell, not as quick to move, but had really deep motivation and pain. So really like just really like following up with her, nurturing that conversation. I feel like a lot of us are in this microwave mentality where like I should call you today and you should be ready to sign and I should be able to close in 2 weeks and make my money and get out of the way. And from a scalability perspective and a business, like that's never going to happen. So just honestly, she was just a sweet old lady and I'm not in the sales positions anymore. I'm usually just in underwriting. So anytime I get to jump back in that seat, it's just a very impactful role that I get to do and just get people closer to their goals. I will say there's a local investor here in St. Louis that I actually met through Rich that I've actually helped build systems for, and to see him actually invest in St. Louis has been really really cool. To see him build his portfolio and do the things that I was so passionate about at the beginning, the excitement and the thrill of like the first deal, the second deal, was is really cool. And then probably my other favorite real estate story. You have another speaker coming on today, and his name's Bryson Duval. And Bryson is one of my best friends. And I've seen his journey. You'll get to probably talk to him a little bit more. But I remember at the beginning of his journey, I had a meetup at my office, and he came to my office and we spent the rest of the day together, and I didn't know him. He just knew me from social media. And I remember looking at him and saying, like, you have a skill set. And if you don't leave your job right now, he says the story, but he doesn't usually include my name in it. But I was the friend that told him to quit his job. Bro, I've done this. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You
That's awesome.
proof of concept. Like all we need to do is this, this, and this. And so just really that action step. Like I know what real estate has done for my life. It's completely changed it. It's provided me a lifestyle that's beyond my wildest dreams. I travel. I've met some of the most amazing people in the world through it. My tenants, just everything that I get to do because of real estate and because of a decision, honestly, is probably my favorite thing.
That's so awesome. All right, Rich, what final question do you have for
Don't make
Kristina?
it too hard.
Oh, man, what is one? No, no. Honestly, Christina, if you knew somebody who was on the fence to come to this conference, what would you tell them? Like, why should they come to this conference?
Well, one, if you like me, this is probably a really good room to be in because it's gonna be an intimate room. We're gonna be able to get down to the nitty gritty. We have the VIP dinner. I'm actually speaking at another event a couple days prior, and I'm rushing back to make sure that I'm at that VIP dinner. So, the biggest thing with any event, if you're on the fence, especially for this event, is that you have access to a ton of speakers. Most places you're gonna get only 2, 3, 4 speakers max, and you won't really be able to talk to them. So I would say like this is just one of those events that one is put on by great people, but two, you're going to have an intimate environment. It is St. Louis. So if you're anywhere in the Midwest, right, like you can get here, Chicago, anywhere in the Midwest, like this is going to be a great focal point because one, we're probably going to refer leads to you, right? Because now we know that there's someone in another market that we don't necessarily operate in. Two, you're going to build really good connections with great speakers. The array of knowledge. I'm going to be honest, I probably never spoken at an event or even been to an event where the range of knowledge is so like from like Airbnb to this to that. And that's one of my favorite things that I love about St. Louis, honestly, is like you can have a really like cheap rental. You can have a high end rental. You can do $1 million rehab. You can do $150,000 rehab. Like St. Louis literally provides everything. I'm not from this city, but I love this city. And I continue to, pour into this city and make sure that it has what it needs. So if you are on the fence, this is my invitation. Come hug me, come love on me, let me love on you, and give you all the resources that you need, point you in the right direction.
Wonderful. Kristina, we have got a couple of questions that have come
Awesome.
in, and
Cool.
I just wanted to make sure that the audience got their questions here. So here's the truth. I know that real estate can be a stressful endeavor sometimes, especially when you got 300 properties and the whole 9 yards. The question
Yes.
is, how do you make sure that you protect your mental health with all the things that you have going on?
That's a good one. I love it. I love it. So, really, I'm gonna say genuinely, like I put myself through so much. I put my body through so much. I put my mind through so much, and people saw it because I was very vulnerable and open about it. So I just want to say, like, don't get to that point. Like, don't let it get there, right? There's way better options. There's way better resources. There's community. There's people that want to help you. And I think a lot of it was that I thought I needed to do everything myself. And I'm gonna leave you with a nugget. There's a book called Who, Not How, right? And that book, honestly, it opened up my mind to connections at a deeper, higher level. It opens up like how I serve people, but who I get to serve people with. And I think that has a lot to do with your mental health. Like we can say it doesn't, and you can say it's therapy and this. And yes, a lot of it could be therapy. But the reality at the end of the day is that you pretty much have everything that you need in a connection or a relationship that is close to you, or you will probably make in this room. And those things are really what allow us, like the process is what allows us to honestly like live in this freedom mindset, right? Like this freedom mindset of everything has a pace, a place, and a place, right? Like everything has a place. And if you can understand that, I think honestly that's what freed me from my own mental my mental anguish, because I really put myself through a lot thinking I had to do everything. I had to be the one that made the decision, when really if I put together a clear roadmap and expressed the process and became the leader that I needed to be, the rest of it was very, very easy.
Perfect. Perfect. We got 4 minutes left.
Awesome.
Explain to the audience what freedom means to you.
Oh, okay. So I am literally living in my freedom right now. Um, and this is like just it's just such a big deal for me. Like I said, I've put myself through so much. No one else did that to me. I did it to myself. I put myself in that predicament. I made those decisions. But at the end of the day, like when you say that you want a certain thing, sometimes that's exactly how it shows up at your door. It just doesn't look the way that you did. So freedom for me looks like peace. It looks like easiness, flow, everything having order, being a leader, honestly, and delegating to a team that feels empowered and trust me and trust the vision and the strategy that we're going, the big picture and the big vision. But it looks like Kristina on a beach. It looks like Kristina at concerts. It looks like Kristina with her family and her friends. That's really what freedom is to me.
That's awesome. That's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful. Rich, why should people come and listen to Kristina on November 4th
I mean,
or 5th?
if you're not hooked, on Kristina right now, just with these 15, 20 minutes here, then you must not have been listening. You might want to check your speaker. It's probably muted, but no, honestly, you should hear Kristina, because she is going to give you such an incredible insight to, like you mentioned at the top of the segment, is it's not the sexiest part, but it is the part that will make you money. It will turn things around for you. So you seriously, even if you've been doing this for 20 years, you can turn things around. But if you're getting started, holy cow, what an incredible part of your business to implement. So come get these tips and learn how Kristina can help you.
Yeah, guys. Chris,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us, Kristina.
Thanks,
I hope you have a great Saturday. Thanks for taking your time to do this. Our audience and the entire Gateway to Freedom team, I'm sure, appreciates this very much for you being here. So thank you.
Thank you. You guys have a great Saturday. We'll see you guys at the event.
Thanks. Wonderful. You too.
All right. So, guys, Kristina has been successfully investing in real estate for 9 years. And after years of insurance and management and sales, her company, SOP Factory, has a passion project for tools, training, and standard operating procedures, SOPs, and the support she wished she had while acquiring those 300 single family homes. You are not going to want to miss Kristina's presentation at the Gateway to Freedom, November 4th and 5th. I'm just telling you right now, just based upon the 20 minutes that we got to spend together, you got tremendous amounts of value from that. And remember, if you did get tremendous amount of value out of that, put the word freedom in the comments. That's what we're doing. When you have that feeling, that emotional response to feeling that freedom that Kristina just offered you, that's when you type freedom in the comments today.